One of the websites that I chose is called Class Dojo. This website is a great tool for classroom management and for positive reinforcement of behaviors and things like that with your students. The other thing that I like about it is that you can connect it to the families and parents of your students so they can also see the child's progress on the points that they're earning and the positive reinforcement that they're getting through good choices that they're making in school. So when you first get to the classroom, when you first get to the website, you would go where it says get started as a, and then of course if you're a teacher, you would click teacher and go from there. I've already created an account. An account is free, so I'm going to go into mine so you can see what it looks like. So once you get in there, I created one student in my class just to kind of play with it a little bit. But I'm going to click into the demo class because they've created a demo with 5 students involved. So you would click in, and these are just the sample students that they've created. But obviously, if it was your group that you're using, you would add in your students' names. But basically, you can award points to students for choices that they're making that are good. So like if you go into Beyonce, and she did a great job with staying on task, and you would click this button and it would give her a point for being on task. So that point goes towards her, but then as you can see, it also goes over here to this whole class section, which again, the whole class can get points for things that they're doing well, and you can add in other skills if you have something other than the ones that they've created. But I like this because it not only is giving feedback to one student all the time, but if all of the students are making a good choice, then you can give them all a point at the same time. So I'm envisioning that like you could use this as like you could have a chart in your classroom that has a points bracket, kind of maybe if a student gets to a certain amount of points, they get some kind of, like a visit to the treasure box, or they get to have, I don't know, the whole class. If the whole class gets to a certain amount, maybe you have a movie day, maybe you could have a pajama day. I don't know, different little prizes that you can do for either individual students or for the whole class. So I feel like this is a great way to build up positive reinforcement for your students and for your classroom, and to focus on the things that you want rather than to always be giving consequences for what you don't want. Again, I do like that it can connect to families as well, to where the families can log into their account and see how many points their student has, what their student did well that day. And so there it can help with the family engagement aspect as well. So I feel like the audience for this would be to pull in students, to get them excited about their choices, as well as to connect and present it to the families too. I feel that this aligns with the IST standards of 3.4.D with partnerships with the families. I feel like this is a perfect example of that, as you're able to connect with the families through it and work together to create positive reinforcement for their children at school. And then the other standard I feel like that it met is 3.1.B, which is to meet student needs. Again, to work on relationship building with your students, to work on focusing on the positive things that they're doing and rewarding them for that, rather than always focusing on having to dole out consequences for the negative things that they're doing. So anyway, I thought this would be a neat tool to use for classroom management and positive reinforcement.